Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Business Growth Show, where we talk about all components of business and how to utilize them for exponential growth. My name is Athin Cassiotis. I'm a serial entrepreneur, international speaker, results strategist, business coach, mentor, and consultant. Today, I have an awesome guest. He is a serial entrepreneur and founder of 12 digital agencies, including AppsCore, Removify, and First Page, and is the co-founder of Lisnic. He is a university dropout who collaborates with and hires very smart people. With only $350 in startup capital to launch his first digital agency, he has grown his personal fortune to $274 million and is listed on the AFR Rich List. His businesses have won many awards as he delivers top quality results. Welcome, Nick Bell, and thank you for being on my show.
What an intro. Thank you, mate. That was a mouthful, but thank you for that. That was great.
You're welcome.
Mate, good to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome, mate. I love doing intros, and you've...
I can tell. That was great. I could have kept listening to that all day.
That's it. Got to start it strong with some awesome energy, and you've done some awesome things. So I just love to showcase that as well. So it's going to be an amazing show for everyone watching and listening today. So you're a very successful entrepreneur. So for those people who don't know who you are, just introduce yourself by telling us a bit about you and your journey.
Yeah, definitely. So look, my background is more of digital agency. So I started my first digital agency at the age of 28. And the reason I started it, I was actually running a skincare business at the time. And I was selling skincare products online. I was doing that for 4 or 5 years. And I was struggling. I wasn't making any money. And I thought, shit, I need to make some cash here. I've got no cash in the bank. I can barely pay my rent. I'm not crying poor story. But I was 28 years old and had no money. I had no money to live. So I said, look, let's start an SEO business from my bedroom. I'll cold call people from page 2 of Google, tell them I can get in page 1 of Google. And then within a few days of cold calling businesses from page 2, someone sent me a check for $10,000. And I thought, shit, this is the most money I've seen in 4 years. So then I cold called another person, won another deal, and then I got out of exited the skincare business because that was doing nothing, and then started my first digital marketing agency and grew the business organically, and then it just blew up, actually. I think by the 3rd or 4th month, we did $1 million in sales, and then just hired and just grew and grew. So yeah, I'm not a tech person by trade. So I just kind of self-learned how to do SEO and how to do digital marketing. And that's how I grew the business. So for those who don't know, I worked in hospitality for many, many years when I was younger. When I dropped out of university, then I played golf for a while. I really had no idea what I wanted to do. And then I just kind of fell into digital at the age of 28.
Yeah. Awesome, mate. What an amazing story. And it's interesting when, there comes to a point where something happens, right? And then you got to make this change and then go all in, basically.
Yeah, I think there's a turning point in your life where you go, I'm either going to do this or I'm not going to do this. And you can drift around and go from job to job. And I was like, this isn't working for me anymore. And going back, 10 years, 15 years, back then you needed a university degree to get any decent job. You could without a degree, you could either do sales, hospitality, become a tradie, or recruitment. And I actually moved into recruitment, and then started a skincare business. And then obviously now I'm in digital. If I could do it all again, go back 20 years when I was 18, I would actually do an internship at a digital agency and say, look, I'll work for free for 6 months just to learn the ropes and work my way up the business. Because if you know digital, you can almost do anything these days because everything's online. It's such a valuable skill. And I stress to anyone who doesn't know what they want to do, just check out the digital trade and see if it interests you.
Yeah, I love that. Really powerful. And, you've built them up, multiple businesses and everything now to really big amounts there. And let's just start a little bit from the start, right? Because there's probably a lot of people here that are obviously not at your level, right? And they're maybe just starting, maybe they've got a digital agency or they've just got a business, right? And maybe they've only got like a few people in their team, and they're at that point where they, want to scale. So what advice would you think of, based on your experience or what you're seeing there with your businesses is, how they can scale their business more from that initial point to really get it to that proper business sense?
Look, I think there's a few factors here that why digital agency owners don't go from 2 staff to 50 staff, or from 50 to 100, or even to 100 to 1,000. First of all, I find a lot of these owners, they're the bottleneck in the business. So they're trying to do everything from sales to execution to finances. I'm a massive believer, delegate as much as you can to great people so you can focus on your strengths. So if I'm strong at sales, I'm going to double down on selling and hire a person to do execution. If I'm great at finances, I'm probably not going to run the finance team, but I'm still going to be running the business, but I'm going to keep a close eye on the finances and hire great salespeople. But a great leader hires great people and gets them working together as a unit. And I find a lot of these smaller agencies, they're just trying to pay peanuts and get monkeys in the door and not pay for good people. And they lack processes, they lack systems, and they lack an eye for detail. So, for example, everything a customer sees and touches should be absolutely amazing. And a lot of people just don't have the eye for it. So there is multiple reasons why they don't scale, but a lot of it comes down to discipline as well, because they're actually not putting the work in to look at all the details, to hire the right people. It comes down to, if you want to break it down in its simplest form, discipline, doing the right thing day in, day out.
Yeah, I love that. Really amazing points there. And I've got very high attention to detail, right, with what I do, and I could pick stuff up with, with people. And I guess that's my challenge, because let's just delve into this a little bit further, because obviously not everyone you're going to hire necessarily is going to have that. Or maybe you ask the question in an interview, but when it actually comes to them working, right, they may not have the level of detail initially that you're really wanting, that really high standard. So is it just really about hammering in those standards from the start and really being, accountable on that? Or how do you work?
Day one. So, but you also need to give them the tools to operate effectively. So I'm about making the business idiot proof. So having rock solid systems in place that minimizes human fuck up, pardon the French. Because if your systems aren't in place, people are freestyling, doing what they want, they're going to make a lot of mistakes. But if you have processes and systems in place, so everything's monitored, it's very hard for people to make mistakes. But also you make sure you give them training from day one. Don't just go do it. Sit with them and train them, and then let them do it by themselves, and then check it and make sure it's done correctly. It's really bloody simple. But too many owners just aren't putting time into investing in systems and processes and training. So they don't need to be a rock star. You can turn them into a rock star with the right training.
Yeah, love that, mate. Really cool. So, and I invest a lot of time in, even my assistants or whoever it is, because it definitely goes big. So that's awesome. So let's go a little bit more into some of your businesses, right? Because you've got so many different ones, and I think that they're really cool. And
too many, too many bloody businesses. It's actually not a good thing. And I'll tell you why, because sometimes when you've got too many medium-sized businesses, you're stretched in every single direction. What I should have done is just have one large business that I can focus all my attention on. But I'm an absolute idiot. I go one business and I start another one and I start another one. And I'm like, so on a Monday, I'm doing 4 hours here. The other 8 hours, I'm doing another business, and Tuesday, this business, and Wednesday, that business. It's very hard to give everyone your attention. So I recommend to all the entrepreneurs out there, or young entrepreneurs who are just starting, try to do one business and do it really bloody well. Don't chase the shiny object thinking, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this, which is what I've done. And it works sometimes, but most 98% of the time, you will fail. Nail one business, move on to the next if you want to.
Yeah, I love that. So true. And let's talk about AppsCore, right? So this is where you design and build apps, right? To my understanding, which you've done for big brands as well, right? It's not just small things, you've done it for big people. So do you want to maybe just share a bit more light on who you've helped, maybe some examples of what you've done, and when we should be thinking about this type of solution, that you provide?
Yeah, AppsCore is an interesting business. So we started off in 2010 as purely an app development business. So a startup will come to us, I've got this idea for an app, can you build it? And we say, yes, absolutely, we can build it. And as time went on, we moved away from the startup scene in 2016 to focus on more enterprise. So now we're building apps for NAB, for car sales, for Samsung. But instead of building apps, we also do staff augmentation. So now we're actually supplying our developers, our designers, our BAs to these enterprises, and they work on site at the client's premises. So instead of, yes, we still do the execution side of building an app, but now the bigger part of the business is staff augmentation. It's such an interesting business. It's very similar to what a Deloitte or an Accenture do, where they actually supply their team to these enterprise customers. And it's a very interesting business, because building apps is great, but how many apps in the startup world fail? Everyone's got an idea for an app. And I always warn people, yes, you may have a great idea for an app, but one, they're expensive. Two, only 1 out of 1,000 ever do any well. Don't quote me on that stat, but I'm just throwing stats out there, but very few actually make any money. So you can easily do your dough if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to market it correctly. So I'm giving everyone a warning here. Be very cautious on building an app unless you're 100% sure it's going to take off and you have a clear marketing strategy from taking it from 0 users to 1 million users quickly.
Yeah, really powerful and awesome brands and great tips there on, and interesting how it's evolved over time like that as well. So that's really cool. But
I'm going to say the other business that I find bloody interesting that people are generally fascinated by is Removify. So yes. I'm not sure who knows about Removify, but Removify is a business that removes online content. So I'll give you an example. Have you ever heard of a business called, there's a business called Seeking Arrangements, where you got sugar daddy, sugar baby. And the sugar daddy and the sugar baby have a relationship. The sugar daddy pays the sugar baby a monthly fee for being friends. We'll say friends. Anyways, we get a lot of people coming to us and saying, look, my sugar baby's gone rogue. She's posted these photos online of me in inappropriate positions because I stopped paying her monthly fee. And then they come to us and go, look, can you help remove these photos? I'm like, yeah, we can help you remove these photos. But we do a lot of that, a lot of revenge porn, a lot of defaming negative reviews. So if a review says this person is a scammer, where's the evidence to support that? We can remove that. So we don't have a magic button that goes, boop, and the piece of content's removed. We work with the publisher being Google, Facebook, Yelp to get the content removed. It's such an interesting business, and you'd be surprised the type of content we see every single day. It's interesting. Even our the screens in the office, they actually got filters on the screens. So when someone's walking past your screen, you can't actually see the images and the content on the screen due to privacy reasons. Everyone signs NDAs. It's a very interesting business. Yeah,
that's very interesting. That was going to be the next one that I was going to bring up. So you beat me to it. And
sorry, man, because everyone's fascinated by that business. We only started 2 years ago, and it's absolutely booming. Not because it's content removal, but the tech behind the business is amazing. And I think that business generates between 300 to 500 inbound leads a day.
All right.
Because when you think about it, anyone can write anything about anyone. So I could write a review about you right now, even though it's not true. It's completely unfair, the whole system. If I don't like someone, I could go to their business profile page and write a negative review. It's absolute bullshit, pardon the French. I don't know if I can swear in this podcast, but I am, sorry. So the way I see it is we're actually bringing power back to individuals and business owners that have been unfairly targeted.
You're right.
Because who's regulating the internet? No one.
Yeah. And as humans, we're more often, or apparently, most of society, let's call it, I don't like to generalize, is probably more negative focused. And we like to complain, right? Rather than doing the positive reviews, when we do something good. And that's the problem is, it's not really showing the actual things of,
Correct. Correct. And the stats are, they say between 10 and 30% of all reviews posted online are actually done by competitors rather than people that utilize the service. It's a really crazy system. I think eventually it will have to change. I don't know when. I'm not predicting when, but I think it has to change, because it can't continue where we had a business. Oh, geez, when was this? About 6 months ago. They let go of an employee because the employee wasn't performing. That employee was part of a larger group of people. Within 1 week, that employer received 177 one-star reviews on their Google My Business listing. So they went from a 5-star rating, doing great work, to now 1.1 star rating, completely decimated their business. I don't know how that is fair.
It's crazy. Very
It's
crazy. Yeah.
So
Well, that's good that, and this is a testament to you, right? Because you're seeing the problem in the market going, this is broken. We need to fix it. And obviously, like, the amount of leads you're getting in, it just shows that there's a massive demand for it, which is awesome. And then it probably gets, because the reputation is one thing which is important, to have intact, but then it's also, how do you grow your business, right? And, if we go to one of the other big ones is First Page, right? Where it's like an integrated digital marketing agency. I know you do SEO, you do Google ads, you do all the different social platform ads and stuff like that to get traffic to websites. So, even though every business is different, right? So, you can't really say one size fits all, but if people are wanting to get into that space and really ramp up, their marketing and invest, what marketing direction do you think is best to focus on initially first? What range of budget? Because you got to think that you got to invest money into this, right? As well as a potential range, and to get really great results. You can't just put $500 maybe into a little campaign and expect it to, make huge amounts of money. So I'd like to get your take on that.
Look, there's two sides to this coin. If you have limited budget or no budget, then you have really two avenues: social media. And whether you're an e-commerce business or a B2B business, there's a platform you can use to post content. You really have to get creative if you have limited budget. So if I had zero money and I was a B2B business, I would be on LinkedIn posting value-adding content. If I'm an e-commerce business, then I'm probably on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, or Pinterest posting value-adding content. So that you can do straight away as of tomorrow. If I have budget, I would still be doing the organic social side of the business, but I'd also be doing, it depends on the business here. I'm a massive believer in SEO because I think bang for buck, SEO long-term generates crazy ROI on your return. I love Facebook ads, I love Instagram ads, but it depends on your business. You need to look into it and see what's relevant to you. But all these platforms, they're generally pretty good. Even NAB, a major Australian bank, is now advertising on TikTok because they're trying to win customers from a lower demographic, from a younger demographic. But TikTok's demographic now, it's even, if you watch it, the age range is actually increasing. It's not just the young ones anymore. The older ones are jumping on TikTok. Pinterest as well. Facebook, it's still good, but not as good as it was. And I'm finding the younger demographic are bouncing off Facebook, and it's more the older demographic these days. But look, there's so many things you can do out there. If you want to target internationally, you can target the Chinese market with Chinese marketing. I love email marketing, so make sure your email marketing's set up correctly. There are so many things you can do. But if you have no idea about digital marketing, what you have to do is get some advice from someone that actually knows it. And don't let someone sell you crap. Just go and get decent advice, and then have that advice checked by someone else. So you get different opinions, and then from there you can actually go, okay, I think this is going to work for me, and this is why it's going to work for me. There's a lot of digital agencies out there will sell you crap just to get you on board. There's no point. The reason being, you're going to cancel within 6 months if you're not getting a decent return on your investment. So make sure you get great advice, have it checked. Ideally, you've got budget, and then make sure you monitor everything. Check the KPIs, check the metrics, check the conversion rates, and then rock and roll. Hopefully you got a great campaign.
Yeah, love it, mate. Awesome value there in how to unpack that and really test it, to make sure you're making the right decision. And if let's move into the more recent one, right? So you've just launched Lisnic, right?
Oh
Which is
yeah,
a
yeah.
game-changing platform that connects, mentees to mentors globally. And I've got, multiple coaches and mentors, and I'm sure you do as well. And I definitely see it as a fast track to success, and being able to get the right direction on how to move forward. So I'd love to hear from your point of view, like, how did it come about? How's the launch going? And how has, coaching mentoring helped you on your journey as well?
Lisnic is a brand new business, and it's completely different to what I've done in the past. I've only done digital agencies, and that's a service-based business. Whereas a platform such as Lisnic is very similar to Airtasker, Freelancer, Upwork, where you're connecting individuals to perform a certain service. So in our case, we have mentors in the platform. They advertise their skills, and then a mentee will either reach out to them directly, or the mentee will post a job on the platform saying, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And their mentors would then bid on that job. Very simple concept. It's very challenging. It is a challenging business. You're never going to make money from this. Yes, you can make money on this business, but you need insane volume. You need millions of people on the platform to ever make a buck. The reason I did the reason I kicked it off with Lisa Tay, well, I actually had the idea about 4 years ago, and people were asking me, would you be my mentor? I was like, oh, I haven't really got time at the moment or bandwidth to do it. But I could see there was a demand out there because there was no other platform that connected mentors with mentees, aside from reaching out to people on LinkedIn, hoping for the best and hoping they would be my mentor or mentee. And I raised the idea with a few friends of mine. I said, look, what are your thoughts on this idea? I pitched it to them just to get their feedback, and they go, no, it's a shit idea. And I was like, oh, damn, I thought it had some legs. So I was like, bastards. So I canned the idea, and then Lisa and I got talking roughly 12 months ago about an idea of doing something business, blah, blah, blah. And then we discussed the mentor platform. And I thought, look, I think we can give this a crack. Obviously, we've got to structure it correctly. We need to know how to market it effectively. So we started building the platform back in June 2020, during the middle of COVID. And then we thought we'd use a third party to build it. They built it. We brought it back in-house. We brought our own development team in-house, designers, etc. And we launched the business 2 weeks ago. It's still in beta testing, but we opened to the public 2 weeks ago. It's version 1 of version 50. There are so many iterations we want to do to the platform. At the moment, we're actually not advertising the platform too hard. I don't want to get people on the platform and then they're not happy with the experience. So at the moment, there's only roughly, I think, 1,000 or 2,000 people on the platform actually with profiles actively using the platform. But what we're launching in the next few weeks is a celebrity section where you can actually reach out to the founder of Netflix, or Laird Hamilton, who's the best big wave surfer in the world. These type of people are going to be on the platform within 2 weeks from now. So yes, you can connect with an A-grade mentor. We have the managing director of Millet on the platform, for example, and you can get mentored by him. He's a great guy, by the way. So that celebrity mentor launches in 2 weeks. We're also connecting a charity function. So mentors can now donate all their fee to a certain charity of their choice. But these iterations are going to keep coming over the next 12, 24 months. So yes, it's a good business, but it's brand new. It's going to be a tough business because you need to get, like I said, probably 1 million people on the platform to ever make it profitable. But I think it has global potential once it gets out there.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Sounds like an amazing platform, and to be able to get access to those people is next level as well, right? And
next level, man. Like, you're talking to the founder of Netflix. Like, that's when you think about it. Netflix is it's a $500 billion organization, if not less. Don't quote me on those numbers, but it's fucking insane. These guys are at the peak of they're at the pinnacle of their career, the best of the best. And to get access to these people, I'm in awe when I speak to these people, because I just find I almost see people as the best entrepreneurs as almost gods or celebrities. I think when I was 22 or 23, I used to see an entrepreneur as a celebrity. I had no interest in movie stars or rock stars, but as an entrepreneur, I used to see them as like, oh, the best of the best. I was in awe of these people. But the older I've become, what I've realized is everyone's the same. It doesn't matter if you've got money or no money. Everyone's the same. Everyone's got issues and challenges. Everyone goes to the bathroom. Like there's no difference between anyone. And now I realize that as I'm older. But when I speak to these other entrepreneurs who have achieved so much, I'm in awe of their achievement, not of them, but what they've achieved. I'm like, to do what you've done on a global scale is unbelievable. And this is what I aspire to do. And I just, not to compete with other people, I compete with myself. Because I always want to be better. If I'm not moving forwards, I feel like I'm moving backwards in my life. I'm probably sick in the head. So that's why I'm starting new businesses. I'm always doing something. Whereas, yeah. Anyways, I just find these people absolutely fascinating. Like the Richard Bransons of the world, Elon Musk, what these guys have done it's unbelievable. It's so much work. And maybe they've had some lucky breaks, maybe not, but it's a lot of work to achieve what they've achieved.
Yeah, definitely, mate. I love that, and love to get a bit of an unpack into the way of your thinking, right? Because you've got amazing success as well, right? Yes, you might not be the Richard Branson at the moment, but compared to a lot of people out there, and I think that's the biggest thing for people to take away is how is Nick thinking? How do successful people think, right? Because that's what allows you to move forward and to get playing on that bigger level of growth.
Well, I always tell people, if you want to be great at what you do or great at your craft, you need to be obsessed with it. So when you wake up in the morning, you're instantly thinking about what you need to do today to win. You need to be obsessed about building that business or progressing your career if you want to. It's not for everyone, don't get me wrong. Some people are happy to go, I got good mates of mine, they're happy to go surfing for half the day and just chill out, and that's cool, and power to them. But if you want to be great in business or even in sport or anything at all, you need to be obsessed with it. And obsessed means disciplined. And if you have that, then you will become great. Because everything you need to be great or to learn is actually online. There is so much free content out there, like this podcast. It's free. So you listen to people, you read books, you listen to audiobooks. You can learn everything about everything online. Yeah. Even like mentors, like I've got mentors and I've got 10 mentors, and I ask them so many questions. I'm always asking questions to these guys. Can you help me with this? What are your thoughts around this? And I help them around digital. But get a great mentors, jump online, read, and then be obsessed and be disciplined. And I guarantee your life will improve dramatically.
Yeah, I love that. Amazing points there. Completely agree with all of that. And, as we're sort of getting to wrap this up, and it's a great segue actually, because like you say, get obsessed, do these things. Now, I know you're big on health and fitness, right? And with the biohacking and the body hacking type of thing like that, to get that, peak performance, let's call it, in ourselves to do what you do, right? So can you give us some tips maybe about, how we can hack our body for this performance as well as recovery, which I know is important as well, so that, we can get that obsessed and still be able to deliver with our energy and everything as well?
Mate, the older I become, I'm trying to hang on to my youth. It's actually quite sad. If the camera was pointed over here, I've actually got red light therapy over here, which I sit in 10 minutes every day on the front and the back, red light therapy, which helps with skin, with hair, with inflammation in the body. I've got supplements on the side of my desk here. What else we got? Oh, I've got a Theragun right here. I literally have biohacking equipment all over the house. But You don't need all this crap. Even if you do at least 20 minutes of high intensity exercise just in the morning, if you just even do that, and then once you finish that, walk outside barefooted on dirt or grass and just hang out for 10 minutes and get some sun. If you do that, you'll feel like a new human being. Like that alone will change your life. But I became obsessed with biohacking probably 3 or 4 years ago. And then 2 years ago, I started doing gymnastics. From years of doing weights and shoulder press and all that business, it was good. Don't get me wrong, I still do it. But my body was becoming so stiff and rigid. So then I started doing gymnastics where you do a lot of handstands. I added calisthenics in there. It completely changed my life. Well, you'd be surprised how many people can't even do a simple spinal wave. Simple. But I remember when I first started trying to do it, I was like a plank of wood, just rocking side to side. Now, you can actually get your spine all separated. And later in life, that's going to help you. It's going to help you, your posture, your flexibility, your movement. It all works as one unit. So that's why I feel better now at 41 than I did when I was at 21.
Yeah.
I keep telling myself that anyway. I keep telling myself, please feel better, please feel better.
Love it, mate. That's awesome. And good to get a bit of an insight into what you do. And like you said, you can start off with the easy things in the morning to start the day right. But then
that's some basic stuff, man. Yeah.
Like
go for a swim in the ocean in the morning. There's you probably heard of him. His name's Wim Hof.
Yeah.
So Wim Hof does a lot of breathing exercises or breathing techniques, and he sits in ice cold water. And apparently that's great for cognitive function, injury repair, youth. So I have a cold shower in the morning, even though I can't stand it. After I've had that cold shower, I come out and I'm feeling like a new man. I feel great. Like these kind of things, anyone can actually do, but it comes down to discipline. Do you want to do it? If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But if you want to feel better and progress, then think about introducing this into your routine in the morning.
Yeah, I love that.
I read a book. I read a book about making your bed in the morning. So I actually now, every time I wake up, I make my bed first thing, just to make sure I'm starting the day correctly. Just simple things like that. Yeah.
Really powerful, mate. Love all of that. And what a way to end it, to start our day right and do things right. So, we connected through our networks, where I learned about your awesome journey from starting, with only $350 in startup capital, to founding now 12 digital agencies and co-founding Lisnic, to growing your personal fortune to 274 million and being listed on the AFR rich list. Like, massive there. And, your success in so many businesses really speaks for itself, right? You're an awesome guy. You're down to earth. You like a bit of French comments, but you just say how it is, which is what I love, right? And I'm sure you're going to continue to innovate, create, do what you do to solve many problems, right? That's what it's all about as an entrepreneur. With high quality standards, that deliver results, right? I can tell that that's one of your ethoses and how you work, which is awesome. So I'm very grateful, that we connected. I look forward to working with you in the future. So how can people find you, get in contact with you?
Look, I'm not on Facebook or Instagram. And the reason being, I was getting sucked into the Facebook and Instagram hole, where I'd watch a video and then I'd watch another video. I'm like, whoa, what am I doing here? I'm wasting so much time on this platform. So if you want to find me, I'm quite active on LinkedIn. So just type in Nick Bell on LinkedIn and you'll definitely find me. So that's another thing for people. If you want to save time, avoid getting sucked into a TikTok hole or Facebook where you just spend hours and hours looking at videos or looking at posts. It's actually quite time sucking. So that's just, word of advice to everyone. If you're starting a business, avoid being on social media too long. Yeah, love it. And definitely check Nick out, Nick Bell on LinkedIn. He's an amazing guy. And I have a Stay Focused app on my mobile that helps me to cut off from these things as well. So that's I think to help people as well, right? If you're finding your habits of making you press the button, at least it stops you right from that way. So
that's another way to think about it with my little 2 cents there. So thank you everyone for watching, to listening to the show where we talk about everything on business growth. Please like, subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review. You can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube as Athin Cassiotis, or visit my website, athincassiotis.com. I completely agree with you, or do I? The only one who knows if you tune in next time. So until next time, remember that our business grows when we learn skills and take action using them in spite of fear. Have a great day.